is just fantastic. Captain's Log, Subdate 210120.4. I have received word from Subfleet that my new crew member will be arriving in 4 weeks. So until then, I'm going to try and raise my ship efficiency as we've been stuck at 44% for 5 days. About 3 years ago, I made a failed attempt at trying to debunk a rather poorly executed vegan video. I say poorly because I was annihilated in the response. So this time I'm going to try again, but I'm going to try and preface with a point. The eating habits of the person criticizing you play no part in the criticisms being sent your way. If you try and debunk my arguments by using my eating habits, all you're doing is deflecting. And I believe the majority of my audience or anyone who may well see this video will agree a deflection is not an answer, nor is it in any way a debunking of an argument or criticism levied at you. I am also not going to discuss my eating habits because they are none of your business. So hopefully the criticisms I levy at you, that vegan teacher, are taken on board, although it is also quite likely you'll respond with some snarky clips on TikTok, where you are exceptionally popular. I guess now I've already name-dropped you. We should actually discuss you. That vegan teacher is also a YouTuber, but very successful on TikTok with over 1 million followers. She got some notoriety recently for this.
I'm at college and surrounded by women.
Don't be scared, Tommy. Just follow that meat teacher, Miss Tofu. She'll help you find a nice vegan girl who will teach you what to do.
Now, I can understand why many people thought this was incredibly creepy, but in truth, I didn't think it the first time I saw it, but I can understand why people thought it was. Let's just say it's possibly considered inappropriate to some, many, a lot of people. For the remainder of this video, I'm going to call that vegan teacher by her name, Miss Katie, which is on her TikTok wiki. Yeah, there's actually one for her. Then again, I didn't know TikTok had wikis anyway. We learn something new every day here, don't we? There is a fair amount of controversy around Miss Katie when it comes to her nursing background, which is referenced in the wiki. The fact she has 3 separate accounts, one for IRL content and one for pretend nurse roleplay content. No, I'm not linking those, and no, we're not going to go through those. She's also been subject to a fair amount of criticism for a number of things she has said. She's been accused of harassing people, for being racist, sexist, homophobic. She also gained some notoriety because of her dog Bella, who, like Miss Katie, is also vegan. Now, I've seen the debates on this. I do not support raising a dog vegan. I've never supported that, and I won't either. By all means, humans go nuts. Me, Cthulhukin, don't care. Again, I'm not talking about my eating habits here, but when it comes to a dog, I take great issue, because they struggle. So do humans if they make a change quite quickly. And people have been in some of her TikToks very critical of Miss Katie because of how malnourished her dog looks. I'm not showing you pictures of that, by the way, although one can safely assume she can't handle the mad bants because she no longer accepts comments unless you are mutual friends. I can't imagine why. It takes a special kind of coward to turn off criticism, to then unironically, when they get it in video form because they can't handle a comment, respond to every aspect of it, either on YouTube or via TikToks. Now, she has claimed to have received some rather threatening messages, and people have tried to apparently break into her home to steal her dog. So perhaps there is a line where the criticism has gone too far. From what I've learnt recently, there is a somewhat odd balance. On YouTube, we have a set of rules when it comes to where people live, their names, faces, and so on. That same set of rules does not apply on TikTok. They're a few years behind us, okay, on that part. Hopefully, along with the growing commentary community on TikTok, which I only found out about yesterday. Yes, it's a thing. Hopefully, they actually set those standards and people start to go forward with them. because there are some lines you shouldn't cross, and breaking into someone's home, allegedly, is on the list. Hell, going to their home altogether is on the list. One of the biggest issues when it comes to Miss Katie, or Karen, let's go with that as well, is that she targets her videos towards a younger audience, children between the ages of 8 and 14 specifically. In one of her videos back in December, she stood naked in a video and began to talk about sexual fetishes and other related topics. But this is, of course, targeted to children, which I guess then ties into that video right at the start, which does then make it seem a tad more creepy than it ordinarily was. Now, if we treat them as incidents separate, no, but they do now handily tie together and make her look incredibly weird. She also promotes rather unhealthy lifestyles, in the sense that if someone has a health problem that prevents them from going vegan, she believes that is no excuse not to go vegan. I don't know if anyone's done it yet, but has anyone debunked the Crohn's argument yet? Because I believe that's a whole different problem, and I'm not entirely sure if it was debunked, or if it has been found to have a solution, as it does affect people differently. I briefly mentioned there is a growing commentary community on TikTok. One of the best commentaries when it comes to criticisms aimed at that vegan teacher came from the Korean vegan.
There are two kinds of vegans here on TikTok. Now, both types of vegans claim to utilize education, but one vegan teacher includes fear and guilt, while the other vegan teacher just tries to show you how to make very delicious vegan food. I sometimes get asked why I go after the former category of vegans, and it's because I want to make myself abundantly clear. Anyone who includes fear and guilt as part of her curriculum on vegan education is only trying to take away your power and is undermining the very compassion she claims to be promoting. If someone is trying to bully you into becoming vegan, they either have a terribly uninformed understanding of human behavior or care far more about her clout than animal advocacy. Like I said, there are two kinds of vegans here on TikTok, and it's your guess which kind I am.
I don't like people that do that, and I've seen enough debates on YouTube over the last 5 years where people have tried to use very aggressive language as a means to say, if I were in charge, I would cause you harm if you don't change to be like me. Although it is quite the distraction from the Tommy Innit situation. And then you engaged with his fans. He's a kid. What are you doing?
You know the one where I was just trying to encourage him to become vegan? What the fuck are you guys doing? Some of you are crying. Some of you are punching the camera, going...
Vegans, 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 vegans. Oh, do I have word to say? Why? Why? Why are you? Why? Why? I can't even put into words how disappointed you all make me.
Then again, you do respond to literally everyone. So when I Never did a video on you, quite a lengthy one, a good one, you responded. It was bad. You made some pretty bad arguments, but you didn't stop. You carried on, much like you did with Tommy Innit. It's almost obsessive, a trait that is kind of alluded to on your wiki. That's interesting. Or the fact you use every buzzword you can think of when responding to Joe Robe or John Robert. You know, the guy you mocked because he did a little dance over your LGBTQ video. Yes, mansplaining. Because that's what it is when you are correctly told what veganism actually is when you think vegan means activist. I don't think all vegans want to be an activist.
Eat your vegetables!
Actually, you're not really vegan. You are someone who simply eats plants. We call that a plant-based person. A real vegan is somebody who defends animals all the time.
No. Before I get started, I'm just going to say I don't have any issues with veganism, whether you're doing it for nutrition reasons, moral reasons, environmental reasons, whatever. As far as I can tell, there is no societal understanding that says that in order to be a vegan, not only do you not have to eat or use animals or animal byproducts, but you also have to be an animal rights activist or actively try to convert people to veganism. And like I said before, I don't have any issue with vegans in general. But I think that the unnecessary gatekeeping that she's doing, not only in this video, but many of her other videos, is doing more harm to her cause than it is good. She's also used her platform around veganism to tell people to change religions, and honestly, that's just messed up.
Dear John, thank you so much for mansplaining to us, female animal rights activists, what the definition of veganism is. Coming from a carnist like you, golly gee, that sure means a lot. But you know, we saw the definition differently than you did. We see the Vegan Society definition as encouraging us to speak out for the victims at all times. We also happen, by the way, to speak out on the rights of all minorities, the LGBTQ+ community, and against all racism, among tons of other things. Dear John, thank you so much for mansplaining to us, female animal rights activists, what the definition of veganism is. Coming from a carnist like you, golly gee, that sure means a lot.
Okay, let's talk about it. First of all, me educating my followers about what the actual definition of veganism is not mansplaining to female animal rights activists. And you can use the Vegan Society's definition of veganism to include philosophy, lifestyle activism, all you want. That's your choice. But simply speaking, there's lots of ways to be vegan. And until society in general decides to include those pieces into the definition of veganism, I'm not going to either. And one last thing. You used graphic imagery to describe how I get the milk to put in my coffee, but I don't drink coffee anymore. And when I did, I drank it black.
But I do think they all tell you when they're a vegan if you don't already know and they're in the room with you. And I should now say, I don't care if you are or not. It is of no concern or business of mine. And then there's more recently D'Angelo Wallace. Now there are some other issues with D'Angelo Wallace that have been reported on. I don't care about that. I do care about this. I noticed last night, because somebody very kindly linked it to me, I never did a live stream response to your video responding to D'Angelo Wallace. It's not very good. You almost hit a point, and then at the last second, you just swerve, which I don't quite understand. You almost have a point and then decide, YOLO swag, in it fam, let's take a detour. I'll get back to the original point when I can be jaffed. As far as vegans go on social media, you are hated and vilified because you exemplify some of the very worst traits of online vegans. You are patronizing, condescending, manipulative, hateful. You are a bully. You target towards children. You are obsessive. You also can't clap back to save your life. You are self-righteous and arrogant, because at no point in any of the criticisms you received could you concede that they had a point. So you tried to be snarky. But sadly, you fell short in every single instance. This, by the way, is not a video arguing for or against veganism. This is a criticism levied at somebody who gives veganism a very bad name. Might I suggest you do a little growing up? And this coming from somebody who's getting old as well. I guess the only major difference is I really don't care what people eat, unless they're going to use what they eat to promote something quite unhealthy. Again, not a shot at veganism. Look at the content I've made.